So, while I've been on the road for the last 2 weeks, Matthew, what has the Steeples Times been reporting on?
Well, I've been focused on many different things, but I would say the McCann case is very important to me right now. The fact that they are spreading non-news. The Mr. Amaral has been accused of, it's going to be the end of the year when he has to accept that he has to pay them. Well, he is quite rightly contesting that. I think that's a very interesting thing. There's no progress in the Christian B. Christian B being the person who has been widely accused of being the killer or abductor, depending. The British police say killer, the German police say murderer. They say he is the person that did it, but the German investigator has admitted there is no chance of charging this man yet. There's no evidence.
So do they have to keep it going with this non-news to justify the 13 million plus whatever more they're going to spend?
So there needs to be another chunk of change handed over from the British government to pay for further investigations. So, yeah, that's exactly what you do.
It just cannot be stopped. It's got a life of its own. It's
ridiculous. And other people, like the people I talk about every day, the people like Martin Allen's brother, Kevin Allen, gets nothing. Ben Needham's mother, Kerry Needham, gets nothing. The young man who I write about, who disappeared in Suffolk, gets nothing. It's the same with all of them. Nobody gets anything other than McCann.
Do you think they will ever find Madeleine's killer abductor? That's from Nicole.
Well, I don't know whether Madeleine McCann has disappeared or if she's dead, but I don't believe that this is a logical system to look for somebody who cannot be found. They would have, with all the millions that were on offer from private money as well, to find this person, somebody would have talked by now, wouldn't they?
Indeed. All right, without
I believe that Mr. and Mrs. McCann, who I have had dinner with on 2 occasions, I've met them on 2 occasions with a small number of people. I wasn't alone with them. There were 4 or 5 people other than myself, but Mr. and Mrs. McCann don't like people asking questions about who they are.
Well, so without naming names then, are we close to doing a studio podcast with any of the teams working on the cases that you cover? Bamber and Lubbock cases come to mind.
Well, you've obviously been in touch with the people connected with Jeremy Bamber, and I'm happy to come and talk about that. I guess a lot of abuse within the last 24 hours. I've had a lot of hate mail for purely talking about Jeremy Bamber. I know, as I've repeatedly said, I know someone who went to school with Jeremy Bamber, and he has his view about his friend. And I know a lady who is a journalist, and she knew Sheila Caffell, the sister of the adopted sister, and she has her view. Now, I don't know whether Jeremy Bamber is innocent, guilty, whatever, but I think his case has been handled appallingly, and I'm prepared to sit there and talk with anybody about it because I have studied it in great detail and I know a lot about the matters of it. And I published something at the weekend, which you obviously read, and the abuse I've had from the people who hate him, it makes me even more convinced that there's something wrong about this matter.
You must be absolutely over the target if that is the case.
There are things that just don't make sense. You just have to look into the telephone calls, the police being in different, when he was there outside and there was movement outside, those kind of things, they don't make sense to them.
So Paulie Walnuts has asked whether the Maxwell properties are still in her name or there's some
I believe they've been sold.
Right, okay.
I believe that's all moved on.
All being siphoned over to the legal fees then, perhaps.
Which was probably sold to a supportive person because nobody else was willing to support.
Right. Okay, so that's all the questions answered then. Is there anything you'd like to say in conclusion then to the people watching?
No. If whatever you would like to ask next.
That's it. That's all the questions.
Okay.